Sean Combs, the rapper and music executive, perhaps being linked to a sex trafficking investigation.
He got some shots of a few people coming out of the home. Those people have been detained. Now, we're trying to still connect the dots. We do have some sources on scene here that we're getting this information from.
Muchachos y muchachas, P. Diddy's 2 mansions, one in Los Angeles, one in Miami, just got raided, okay? There isn't a lot of information that is immediately available right now. I'm just doing a quick video, I guess, because, yeah, I mean, we've been kind of following what's been going on in the lawsuits, right? Cassie Ventura launched really the first one. Soon after, a few other alleged victims did the same thing. And then the latest expose by Lil Rod really was, I'll say, salacious in detail. And ever since then, it's kind of gone quiet a little bit. And now all of a sudden you see Homeland Security raiding his homes. This clip is shocking to say the least, because in this clip, you can see a few people being arrested, being walked out. This obviously looks like they got caught completely by surprise. I did wonder who it was that actually got arrested.
Here that we're getting this information from. We were actually the first ones here with about 30 different law enforcement vehicles at least. There are 3 Bearcats on scene here. This just all unfolded, Sandra, I would say, less than 10 minutes ago. We got here even before the crime scene tape came up. So we're just down the hill. If you look up this street where Tony is right now to the right, you'll see one of those Bearcats and law enforcement on the other side of those bushes, basically.
One of my followers on Twitter, by the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, this is where we break some stuff. Follow me at @NatalieDenise_. So one of my followers actually commented on one of my tweets and said that some of the people that were arrested were actually his sons, one of them being King and the other one being Justin. Now, for those of you that may have been following along, if you haven't caught up, by the way, I've got some pretty short videos on the Diddy lawsuit, the latest one by Lil Rod. I would recommend that you go catch up. There's a part 1 and a part 2. But anyway, in the part 2, we overviewed how Lil Rod, or I believe his real name is Rodney Jones, he exposed that one of his sons, Justin, actually was one of the procurers, one of the, I guess one of the traffickers, one of the pimps in this whole thing, this whole organization. So there was a Homeland Security analyst. I think he was a retired analyst. And he made a comment and an opinion that this had something to do with the allegations of P. Diddy, his entourage, the people that were named in this latest suit, that it had something to do with them sex trafficking and drugging victims, allegedly.
There have been allegations that he was drugging young women, so that there was, which certainly implies that it was rape. That had taken place at some point. But I think what HSI is probably looking at is the interstate aspects of it, if there was any online activity that could have taken place. And that's usually where HSI would have a jurisdictional interest. Homeland Security investigations being part of the Department of Homeland Security, looking at the interstate side, mostly online, and whatever took place across state lines. And of course, he travels all over the place, so I'm sure they're looking at him potentially transporting women around the country, and whether that was tied to a larger criminal activity.
Yeah, definitely Homeland Security involved in any interstate, as you mentioned, and international criminal activity here. So what exactly do you think everyone is looking for at this point? We saw such a large number of law enforcement make entry.
Well, it's a combination of both local and federal. And from what I understand, the local law enforcement has the specific lead at each one of these locations, with the federal federal investigators coming in with them in concert. What they're probably looking for is any evidence that they can gather, certainly any images, pictures, video, anything online. I've no doubt that they're going in and gathering up any electronic media to include any laptops, any flash drives, anything that he might have that might support whatever allegations, whatever reasonable suspicion that they have that led to this these search warrants. You know, just to get a search warrant like this requires a a certain substantial legal barrier has to be, or legal argument or legal litmus test has to be met just to get them to sign off. Particularly knowing with somebody with means like this, that if they go into their home, they're going to be met with some very capable lawyers on the defendant's part to challenge what was ever done, and everything they do there is going to be challenged. So you can imagine, not only did they have to work with the district attorney and potentially assistant U.S. attorneys in arranging this, but they also are being very careful on how they're gathering any evidence, realizing that just about everything they do on site will potentially be challenged in court by his attorneys.
Absolutely. And speaking of his attorneys, we did reach out for comment. We have not yet heard back. Obviously.
All right, so you guys know how I feel about TMZ, okay? You know, if you've watched my channel, watched my videos for a while, you know my skepticism about TMZ, right? I still have some skepticism, but I do want to jump to one of their articles because it seems to be that they have like some immediate information. Even so, when I was watching the live feed, which was from Fox 11 aerial, an aerial view, I saw that they sourced some of this information from TMZ. So once again, very skeptical, but let me show you. So TMZ is saying here, homes in LA and Miami raided. They posted this at 1:19, which 1:19 Pacific. That's about 3:19. Yeah, this happened about an hour ago, but it seems to be that they were like one of the first people on scene. Obviously, they are taking pictures at street level. Now, you know, TMZ photographers, you know, they get, I don't know, they get tipped off. It seems to be because look at all these like random things, like you know, streets being shut off. I'm not going to play the video because I don't want to get copyright. And then you see right here, there's a boat raid of some sort. King and Justin, those are the sons that are being arrested. And yeah, I mean, there's not really a lot of information right now. That's all that there is to it. Once again, I would recommend you guys go catch up. I'm going to link both videos in the description below. I will be back once we know a little bit more. With that being said, thanks guys for your support. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Bye-bye.